I'm the creator of this makeup school, which the name of the school is MUA. Today I'm going to be doing a glamour makeup application which is going to suit almost every single client. Red lips, perfect eyeliner, flawless skin. And this is the event. It's a collaboration for the AllWomenStalk. I hope you're going to enjoy it. If you have any questions, please welcome. This is your time. Okay, I'm going to start, since I've done skin preparation, I'm going to do foundation right away. I don't know if you've heard about bisutation. I know you've heard about BB cream, CC cream, right? Foundation, airbrush foundation. So this is a new product, bisutation, which includes BB cream and CC cream and foundation. And as well, I'm going to add a little bit of HD liquid foundation by Makeup Forever. Let's pretend she's going to be photographed. So we can mix sometimes products together. So I'm going to mix them together. And if your client looks a little bit pale, it's okay, because you're going to do a little bit of correction. You're going to do contouring, you're going to apply bronzer. It's not a mistake. They might not going to feel comfortable, but it's better to go a little bit with lighter foundation than with darker, because from the moment you have darker foundation, it's so difficult to fix it. But if you have a little bit of lighter foundation, you do contouring, blush, bronzer, and she's gonna look very fresh. Okay. If you wanted to create more of a full coverage, you might want to add a little bit heavier foundation, which is Spray Dior. It works as a foundation and powder. Basically what I do, I mix my favorite foundations because they all have different textures. Bisutation has a corrector inside, and Dior spray has more coverage.
And what is BB cream for?
BB cream is a lighter version of the foundation. So I'm going to be applying all over my client's face. You blend foundation towards to their hair, but make sure you don't have that much foundation closest to their hairline. You basically apply on this spot and you blend towards to the hairline. Some people are willing to handle full coverage makeup. Some people they're not comfortable. So make sure you participate with your client, and it always depends on the final look. If they're going to be photographed, it's okay to have a full coverage. If it's a morning makeup at 8 a.m., I think it's a little bit silly, right, to have a full coverage. But it's your job to be able to explain to your client that it's going to look beautiful on the photo, but you might not going to feel comfortable in front of the mirror. And as well, if it's a very important event for your client, you might going to talk about facial, because if they have a dead cells of the skin, you wouldn't be able to cover. It's going to appear even more. So yes, you are a professional makeup artist, but you are not a magician. From the moment you apply foundation on the dry skin, it's going to appear even more. Yes, you can moisture the skin, but if they have, if they never exfoliate their skin, it's going to appear. usually we work in front of mirror to check our client's face. Those little spots, the red spots, it's better to cover with second layer and with a more thicker product. I'm going to be doing second layer. You can do with this foundation just by applying second layer, or you can use pencil concealer.
This is from?
It's MUA, True Match MUA. And by doing those little touch-ups, you can cover anything you need. And I'm going to check my client in the mirror. Okay. And now we're going to work with under eye area. Sometimes your clients have a perfect skin, and what you need to do, you just have to lighten up or brighten up under eye area, a little bit of powder, and she's good to go. But if you need to create a full coverage, then you have to do the base matching. She seems a little bit pale, as I mentioned before, but this is a perfect match for her skin tone. But as well, I know my client, in this case Juliana, she's not comfortable. I mean, she's comfortable with her skin tone, but she always like to be a little bit bronzery, like more tan. So do I. I'm very pale. I'm never gonna get tan. I'm turned red. So I always wanted to play with bronzer. So make sure you participate with your clients, and they want you to add a little bit darker base. You don't do darker base. You work with correcting powders and bronzers, because from the moment you apply darker, it's gonna look different, the body and the face. Okay. So now I'm gonna work with under eye area. So I'm gonna be using Salmony concealer, Joshua by Yves Saint Laurent. Why Salmony? Because usually people have dark circles. Dark circles are most of the time they're blue, and to conceal blue color we're going to use opposite on the color wheel, opposite color, which is orange. Orange for lighter skin tone is going to be a salmon color. For medium and darker complexion you can use orange corrector, but then you have to apply another layer of the lighter concealer. Or you just buy concealer with the tiny bit of orange corrector. So two ways, corrector plus concealer, or just the concealer with the right undertone. Okay? So I'm going to be using
Thank you for harding this. I'm talking to Periscope people for harding this, and invite your fans, invite people.
okay. Yes, we have to cover everything we have to cover, but at the same time, nobody wants to have a very thick layer, especially under eye area. It's not comfortable. So make sure, so it's like a tricky part. You should have a product, but you have to be able to mix it, to blend it very well. Not necessary to apply all over the under eye area. Sometimes it just, you need to neutralize this part. You work with this area. She's young, she's okay, but people who is a little bit older, they're gonna get wrinkles. not because of you, because of concealer. Concealer is going to absorb the whole moisture from the under eye area, and it's going to cause wrinkles. So you try to avoid these spots when we're aging. So maybe you want to apply concealer on, directly on the vein, and you're going to see tremendously difference. Yeah. So yes, we need to apply concealers and foundation, but you always think. If you need to blend, maybe beauty blender. If their skin is dry, even oil on the beauty blender, just make sure you do the job, but at the same time you blend very well. Blending is the key. Now I'm going to check in the mirror again. The mirror is my friend, so I think I need to add a little bit more in this area. By tapping or okay, now what I'm gonna do, of course I can continue to build my layers, but I think for now it's difficult because she doesn't have contouring, she doesn't have eye application. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set my foundation, I'm gonna start with the eyes. And on the, at the end of the makeup, because with red lips, with the eyeliner, the skin is gonna appear differently, and we might not gonna see dark circles anymore. So for now, I'm gonna stop to correct under eye area because I wanted to avoid this very thick layer of concealer, and it's I'm gonna leave. We're gonna give some time to absorb the concealer. So I'm gonna set foundation.
Thank you for holding this. I'm just talking to the people. Thank you for holding the Periscope.
And if at the end of the makeup, if I need to do some corrections, I'd rather to leave at the end. Because now my client, she doesn't understand what's going on, so it's better to move on. So now I'm gonna set my foundation because I wanted to avoid the false eyeshadow. And we need to set the foundation. So if you remember, we were doing the second layer by covering those red spots. So in this case, I'm not going to blend. I'm going to tap because I'm afraid to smear my second layer. Make sure you work with every single area. Okay, now I'm going to do contouring. In this case, I'm going to need another brush, which is more angle brush. Just makes our lives easier. I don't know if you're familiar with the face shapes. We all have different shapes. So I'm not going to go that deep, but in this case, our model, basically anything you want to hide, you apply darker contouring powder. Anything you want to appear, you highlight. Okay? So in this case, we can add more bronzer to make her face slimmer. Maybe in my case, I'm not gonna apply darker on my jawline because it's gonna get even smaller, okay? But it's okay if I apply a little bit on the cheekbone. And again, of course, makeup should look always not like a mask. It just has to enhance the beauty of your clients. But sometimes if it's a stage makeup, if it's a photo makeup, of course, don't be afraid to add a little bit more. It's better do not leave those harsh lines in this case. Again, we're gonna blend everything very well because blending is the key. Contour the nose a little bit. And my foundation brush, I'm going to blend everything. Connect with the face, and you can make the neck slimmer as well if you apply. Then again, I'm gonna check in the mirror. If I need to do some corrections, I blend more or less. Now we can add a little bit of bronzer. Basically the same idea as the contouring. On the hairline, when the sun kisses. Oh, sorry. And again, it depends on your clients. If they're willing to handle contouring, then leave it. If they're not comfortable, blend more. You always participate. You're there for them. And what you like, maybe they don't feel comfortable with this makeup. Sometimes they want to shine contouring, but they never tried before, and from the moment you apply, they freak out. So just make sure you understand what they want. They don't know, that's why they're hiring you. Okay, so your job is to find her unique look, especially for her. Then I'm gonna do a little bit of blush. Above of the cheekbones, right on the apple when they smile. But just make sure you blend very well. So, and it's difficult for me without mirror, so I'm gonna do some adjustments. Since it's a full video, so I'm gonna add a little bit extra so they can see makeup.
Yes. Everyone see it?
Okay. My next step is gonna be luminizer. I'm gonna apply above her blush. I'm gonna be using Becca. Make sure it's not under eye area. It's right above her blush on the cupid bone, and now they're more comfortable, especially if you face them in front of the mirror. So whenever they have a base, it's they can understand a little bit more. So now I'm gonna do eye application. I'm gonna be applying primer, base, shadow to keep eyeshadows in place. So in this case, I'm using thicker product from MAC, my favorite, but it doesn't matter what company. You can find your favorite. There are so many different companies. You can use clear primers.